Payment can quietly become a lifetime habit, and most people never notice it happening. A man walks into a dealership after years of working overtime. He's tired. Rent is high. Groceries cost more every month. His phone is full of bank notifications and unpaid bills. He tells himself one thing: I just need something reliable. That's how it starts for millions of Americans. Not with luxury, not with status, just exhaustion. And when the salesman says, only $320 a month, his brain doesn't hear the total cost. It hears relief. Because stressed people don't think in decades, they think in survival. That's the part most financial advice completely ignores. Let's look at two people, Daniel and Chris. Both are 32 years old. Both make around $60,000 a year. Both want a reliable mid-size SUV for commuting, groceries, work, and taking their kids to school. Same vehicle, same dealership, same price tag. But they make different decisions. Daniel leases, low down payment, small monthly bill, brand new car every few years. No worrying about major repairs. To him, it feels responsible. Chris buys, higher payment, longer commitment, 5 years of sending money to the bank every month. To him, ownership feels smarter. And for the first few years, Daniel honestly looks like the winner. His monthly payment is lower. His car always smells new. The technology stays updated. Nothing breaks. No expensive repair surprises. Meanwhile, Chris feels pressure immediately. Every month, more money leaves his account, and every time he checks the value of the car, it's lower than before. That creates a strange psychological effect. Human beings naturally hate losing value, even when the loss is normal. So Chris watches depreciation happen in real time and feels stupid for buying. This is where most people get emotionally trapped, because humans judge decisions by short-term comfort, not long-term math. A lower payment feels safer. A newer car feels successful. A smaller monthly burden feels like financial intelligence. But feelings are not ownership. And modern financing systems understand this extremely well. Most dealerships do not sell cars using total price psychology anymore. They sell cars using monthly payment psychology, because the human brain struggles to emotionally process large long-term numbers. $38,000 feels painful. $349 a month feels manageable. That tiny shift changes everything. It disconnects people from the true cost. Over time, the payment itself becomes normalized. Like Netflix, like Wi-Fi, like electricity. Just another automatic withdrawal quietly draining income every month. And once something becomes normal, people stop questioning it. That's the dangerous part. 5 years later, Chris makes his final payment. It's not exciting. There's no celebration music, no salesman shaking his hand. But something important happens that day. The payment disappears. For the first time in years, money stays in his account. That changes his financial breathing room completely. Suddenly, he can save more, invest more, handle emergencies better. Not because he got richer, because one obligation ended. Daniel never experiences that moment. His lease ended years ago. Then another started. Then another. New contract. New down payment. New monthly charge. The cycle feels harmless because each payment is individually affordable. But psychologically, repeating small costs are invisible. Humans react strongly to one large expense. We barely notice permanent smaller ones. That's why people cancel a vacation to save money, while ignoring subscriptions, financing plans, and monthly debt quietly consuming thousands every year. The real cost of constant payments is not just financial. It changes behavior. People stay in stressful jobs longer because they need the payment covered. They tolerate toxic schedules because missing one paycheck feels dangerous. They lose flexibility without realizing it. Debt creates invisible emotional pressure. Not panic, not disaster, just constant low-level tension. And after enough years, that tension starts feeling normal too. This is why so many middle-class families feel stuck even when they earn decent money. Their income is already assigned before they even wake up. Car payments, insurance, credit cards, phone financing, subscriptions, student loans, every month becomes maintenance mode. And maintenance mode is exhausting. The system works because people are taught to focus on affordability instead of accumulation. Can I afford the monthly payment? Rarely, will this still be costing me 6 years from now? That question changes decisions, because financially, the most powerful moment is not buying something new. It's reaching the point where you no longer owe for the old thing. Most people chase the emotional high of upgrading. Very few experience the emotional peace of being finished. And peace is harder to market. Nobody makes commercials about driving the same paid-off car for 8 years. But financially, that quiet decision often creates more freedom than chasing constant upgrades ever will. The strange part is that many people trapped in payment cycles don't even realize they're trapped. Because everyone around them is doing the exact same thing. The behavior feels normal. The stress feels normal. The payments feel normal until one day they look back and realize they've been sending hundreds of dollars every month for most of their adult life, without ever fully owning the freedom they thought those payments were buying. 6 years can disappear quietly, not in dramatic ways, not with some huge financial collapse, just through automatic payments that slowly become part of everyday life. A man wakes up at 6:30 in the morning. Commute, coffee, traffic, work emails before he even reaches the office. He's tired all the time. But the strange part is, he's doing everything society told him to do correctly. He works hard, pays his bills, keeps his credit score healthy, makes every payment on time. And still, his money never seems to stay with him. That's because modern debt is designed to feel manageable while lasting forever. Not painful enough to trigger panic, just permanent enough to keep people financially exhausted. Take 2 neighbors. Ethan and Ryan. Both live in middle-class suburbs. Both have decent jobs. Both drive similar SUVs, parked in similar driveways. From the outside, their lives look identical. But financially, they are moving in completely different directions. Ryan prefers leasing, smaller monthly payments, brand new vehicle every few years, less stress about breakdowns. It feels efficient. And honestly, during the early years, it does feel easier. His friends even admire it. Every few years he upgrades. New screens, new features, fresh interior. Meanwhile, Ethan keeps driving the same vehicle year after year. At first, he actually feels behind. Because ownership is emotionally boring in the beginning. There's no novelty, no upgrade excitement, no feeling of moving up. That's important psychologically. Human beings are heavily influenced by visible progress. A new car feels like progress. A paid-off car does not. Even if the second option is financially stronger, this is one of the biggest psychological traps in consumer culture. People confuse renewal with advancement, but replacing something over and over is not the same as building something. By year 6, the difference becomes harder to ignore. Ryan has already entered another lease cycle, another down payment, another contract, another monthly obligation attached to his paycheck. Nothing feels wrong because the payment has blended into his identity. That's how repetitive debt works. The brain stops seeing it as temporary. It becomes part of normal life, like rent, like taxes, like breathing. And once a cost feels normal, people stop questioning whether it should exist at all. Meanwhile, Ethan reaches a completely different stage. His loan ends. 1 month, the withdrawal simply stops. And suddenly something changes emotionally. Not excitement. Relief. Real financial relief is usually quiet. No one congratulates you for eliminating a payment. No commercials celebrate financial stability. There's no social status attached to keeping the same car. But internally, life becomes lighter. More room in the budget. Less pressure during emergencies. Less fear if work becomes unstable. Freedom rarely arrives dramatically. Usually, it arrives as the absence of constant pressure. That's what many people miss when comparing monthly payments. They focus on the short-term comfort of smaller numbers, but they ignore duration. A smaller payment repeated endlessly can become far more expensive than a larger payment with an ending. And dealerships understand this deeply. That's why conversations are almost never about total cost anymore. They are about emotional affordability. Can you handle this monthly payment? That question sounds harmless, but psychologically, it shifts attention away from ownership and toward survival. Most people are too mentally exhausted to calculate long-term consequences after work. They just want the stress reduced today. That makes them vulnerable to financial systems built around convenience. And leasing contains another hidden psychological trick. The restrictions are delayed. Mileage limits sound reasonable in the beginning, until real life happens. Unexpected road trips, longer commutes, driving kids to school, weekend errands. Americans drive constantly, but lease agreements are designed around controlled behavior. So people cross the mileage limit slowly without emotionally noticing it. Then suddenly, years later, a bill appears. Hundreds, sometimes thousands. Not because the driver was reckless, because normal life exceeded the contract. And that creates another important psychological pattern. Humans underestimate future behavior. We imagine ideal versions of ourselves when signing agreements. Future us will drive less, spend less, use things carefully. But real life is messy. Kids spill drinks. Parking lots leave scratches. Doors get dinged. Wheels scrape curbs. A lease turns everyday life into a financial inspection waiting to happen. And what feels minor to a normal person can suddenly become a charge on paper. That creates low-level background anxiety people rarely talk about. Not enough to ruin life, just enough to quietly drain peace. The deeper issue is not leasing itself. It's the modern normalization of endless payments. People are slowly trained to believe adulthood means always owing something. A car payment, a phone payment, furniture financing, subscriptions, credit balances. The paycheck arrives already divided before the person even touches it. And over time, this creates emotional numbness. People stop asking, when does this end? Because many systems are intentionally designed not to end. That's why financial freedom feels almost unfamiliar to some people. They've spent so many years managing payments that ownership itself starts feeling rare. And maybe that's the most powerful part of all this. The biggest cost is not always money. Sometimes it's the quiet psychological burden of knowing that every month, no matter how hard you work, someone else already owns part of your future income before you even earn it. Most financial mistakes do not feel dangerous in the beginning. That's why people keep making them. The biggest drains on middle-class wealth usually arrive disguised as convenience. Small payment, easy approval, no immediate pain. And by the time the real cost becomes visible, years are already gone. A man signs paperwork at a dealership on a Saturday afternoon. The salesman smiles. The coffee machine is running in the background. Soft music plays overhead. Everything feels calm. The payment sounds reasonable. The contract feels routine. So he signs, not because he's irresponsible, because modern life trains people to evaluate decisions emotionally first and financially later. Most Americans are mentally overloaded. Work stress, childcare, rent increases, health insurance, debt, constant notifications. By the time someone sits down at a dealership, they are not thinking like an economist. They are thinking like a tired human being trying to reduce pressure. And pressure changes decision-making. Psychologists call this cognitive narrowing. When people feel stressed, the brain focuses on immediate relief while ignoring distant consequences. That's why a low monthly payment feels emotionally powerful. It creates short-term breathing room. But long-term financial systems are rarely built around your relief. They're built around your continuation. That's the difference most people never fully see. Take someone leasing a car. At first, the arrangement feels clean. Predictable payment, warranty coverage, minimal surprises. No massive repair bill ruining your week. No panic when something mechanical breaks. That stability has emotional value, especially for people already living paycheck to paycheck. But hidden inside many lease contracts is something deeper than financial cost: restricted freedom. The car may feel like yours, but your behavior is quietly being monitored by the agreement itself. How far you drive, how much wear appears when you return it, how you exit the contract. Even life changes become expensive. Lose your job? Need to relocate? Want to downsize financially? The contract does not emotionally care. And that's psychologically important. People often think debt is only about money. It's not. Debt also controls flexibility. A person with fewer obligations can adapt faster when life changes. A person tied to long agreements often stays trapped longer than they want to admit. But buying a car has its own emotional burden too. People online love to pretend ownership is painless. It isn't. After the warranty disappears, uncertainty arrives. And uncertainty creates anxiety. 1 year, the car only needs routine maintenance. The next year, something major breaks. Now suddenly there's a repair bill large enough to disrupt the entire month. That unpredictability scares people. Human beings naturally prefer stable pain over random pain. A fixed monthly payment feels safer emotionally than unexpected repairs, even if the total long-term cost is higher. That's why many consumers choose consistency over efficiency. Not because they're bad at math, because unpredictability feels psychologically threatening, especially for families already under pressure. And then there's depreciation, one of the most emotionally frustrating financial experiences in modern life. You spend tens of thousands on a vehicle, then watch its value collapse almost immediately. For many buyers, this creates regret. It feels like watching money evaporate in slow motion. But here's what most people misunderstand. Depreciation is front-loaded. New vehicles lose value aggressively early on. Then, the decline slows down over time. That changes the equation completely. Because eventually, ownership reaches a different phase. A calmer phase. No loan. No contract renewal. No mandatory upgrade cycle. Just transportation. And that moment matters more than people realize. The modern economy constantly encourages restarting. New phone. New subscription. New car. New financing plan. Very few systems reward keeping things. But long-term wealth is often built quietly through extended ownership, not constant replacement. That's why two people with similar incomes can end up in completely different financial realities 20 years later. One person continually refreshes obligations, the other gradually eliminates them. The difference compounds slowly. Then suddenly, over a decade, the gap becomes enormous. Not because one person was a genius, because one system kept resetting the financial clock, and this pattern extends far beyond cars. The same psychology appears everywhere. People buy houses based on monthly payments, phones based on monthly payments, furniture based on monthly payments. The total lifetime cost disappears behind smaller emotional numbers. That's intentional. Humans struggle to emotionally process long-term accumulation. We feel immediate discomfort strongly. Future discomfort barely registers. So a person saves $200 a month today, while unknowingly committing to tens of thousands in additional long-term costs. The brain celebrates the short-term win. The future absorbs the long-term damage. Still, reality is nuanced. There are situations where leasing genuinely makes sense. For business owners, tax advantages can shift the math dramatically. For luxury vehicles with extremely expensive repairs, staying under warranty may save enormous amounts of money and stress. And theoretically, someone could lease a cheaper car, invest the monthly savings consistently, and outperform ownership financially. But that requires something rare: discipline, without visible reward. And most consumer systems quietly depend on the opposite: impulse, convenience, lifestyle inflation. That's why financial outcomes are often behavioral more than mathematical. The numbers matter, but habits matter more. In the end, the biggest mistake is not leasing. And it's not buying. The biggest mistake is making life-changing financial decisions without calculating the full timeline. Most people only ask, "What can I afford this month?" Very few ask, "What pattern am I creating for the next 10 years?" And that question changes everything. Because wealth is rarely destroyed by one dramatic decision. Usually, it disappears through small recurring obligations that feel harmless individually, until someone wakes up one day realizing they spent decades funding payments instead of building freedom.